Are you a bookkeeper and are you fed up of trying to come up with ideas for social media content? I want to show you this new amazing tool called Journal. You can access it at bookkeepersmarketing.com. I'm going to be talking about it all the time because it's what we're using in our community of bookkeepers to build really professional, well-written social media content for LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, with more coming soon. I'm going to actually give you a demo. I'm setting it up right now. And I thought that even though I am completely unprepared, I thought I'd jump in here and show you what I do because it is fast. So we've got lots of users already and we're getting some amazing feedback. And I feel like it's something really important for me to do to make sure that bookkeepers are able to market their services well. And I realize that marketing is something that takes up lots of time. You don't see it as your skill set. It's not your passion or your hobby. You don't know what you need to do, but you know you need to do something. I've been talking about social media for years, for bookkeepers particularly. This is an industry where we find it really hard to talk about what we do. We think it's quite boring, quite dry. We don't quite know how to get past the 5 things you can save money on. And this will do this really effectively for you. So I'm going to go and set it up and I'm going to be live while I do this so you can see exactly what's involved. Right, let me just get my screen up. Here we go. Okay. So what I'm actually doing right now is using this tool to promote our own product. So the product is called Journal. You can access it at bookkeepersmarketing.com. It is an AI-powered social media tool. It doesn't just write your social media for you. It gives you professionally designed templates. It gives you a schedule that you can customize, and it creates a queue from which you can write your content in just the click of a button, and you can schedule it straight onto social media, or in fact you can post right now. You can also create testimonial posts and quote posts and team member posts that you can use on repeat. So you don't have to create content and just send it out once. Those really good pieces that you're like, oh my gosh, I know I'm going to need to use this again. You've got the option as well to save that so that it is available for you for future use. So I love all of these tools. We're working really closely with the team behind it, Sisoma, and they're helping us to add in other features as we need them. The thing I'm most excited about, which I know is coming very, very soon, is portrait posts for Instagram. This is going to be an absolute game changer for us. So let me dive in and set it up. I've just got a small child because it is the summer holidays. 1 second. Yeah, let me open that for you. Do you want some scissors on it?
Are you recording?
I am recording, and I'm just going to be in here for a bit. If you can go and have that in the kitchen, that'd be great. Good boy. Okay, so I've just set up an account, bookkeepersmarketing.com. This is an account that we're going to be using for Journal. You would be using this for your bookkeeping or accountancy practice to create your content. I see this as replacing the scheduling tool that you're using right now. So for example, Social Pilot or Later, or maybe you're doing this on Meta Business Suite, but then having to go into LinkedIn perhaps to schedule the posts as well. You might be using ChatGPT to write content for you in lots of different chats and windows, and it's never really consistent. This will make it consistent for you. And it will also create the images for you. So I see it as replacing Canva if Canva is the only thing if you're just using Canva for the purpose of creating social media posts. And if you're anything like the majority of our community, what you're finding is you're going into Canva all the time, creating something, and then another day you're like, oh, I've got another idea for a post, and then you create something that looks completely different. And the problem that we have is because we're not designers, we don't know how to build that consistency into social media content. So this can do that all for you, and that's why I'm so excited for it. It looks like you've hired a designer, you've hired a copywriter, but also something I haven't even mentioned yet is this gives you an opportunity to take news stories and turn them into social media posts. So it also looks like you've hired a PR agency. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Right, this is a brand new account. The only thing I've done, and this is the first thing we suggest people to do, is if you go into settings, the first thing you need to do is go to your platforms and connect your social media. So I've gone into the LinkedIn tab, and I have connected to my LinkedIn account. I have got lots of accounts because we have lots of products that we promote. I expect you've got one business you need to promote and one LinkedIn account. So there's a lot of logging in and logging out, which is why I'm not going to do this live right now. But I've just connected my LinkedIn account. It very much is a case of clicking connect profile, typing in your email address and password you use for LinkedIn. And then it says, is this your profile? And if it is, you say yes and connect it. And it will also ask you which business page you want to connect. So if you've got more than one business or business page you're running through LinkedIn, you'll get the options. I'm just connecting Journal here because I want to be posting to the Journal page. And this is actually a showcase page. Journal is part of the Six-Figure Bookkeeper. It's a product we sell. So I've just connected it to a showcase page. So it also works with business pages. So you can choose your page to connect to. You can then go into the Facebook tab and you can connect to your Meta business account. You need to have, or if you're using a Facebook business page, you can post to your Facebook page. And if you want to post to Instagram, you need to have a creator or a business account. So I've connected up the Journal Instagram account. Now, the reason I haven't connected Facebook is that we don't have a Facebook page right now for Journal. So we're promoting this just on LinkedIn and Instagram right now. So we don't need to connect the Facebook page. But if you connect a Meta business account, it will connect your Facebook page and also your Instagram all in one go. It's just one login. It brings everything together. There are more coming soon, but at the moment we've got LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram here. So once you've connected those platforms, you're ready to go and start creating content. But there are a few things I want to do behind the scenes first so that we've got Journal writing in our style. We're talking about the thing that we want to sell. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to set that up now as well. So I'm going to go into the business information tab and I'm going to enter the business name. So this is your bookkeeping practice name. And then you're going to put in your business email address. And if you've got a phone number, you can put your phone number in and you can put your website address on as well. Okay. And then I'm going to click Save Changes. Just move that little banner off the screen. Lovely. Okay, so that's our business information. Now what I'm going to do is go into Design Lab. This is where we get to play around with what the imagery is going to look like. This is the bit where you get to be the designer for your business. You only have to set this up once. Once you've set it up, you're done. So I've just got something loading. I'm just going to refresh my screen. Okay, so I'm in the Design Lab. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my business logo. Now it likes us to have a file which is 500 by 200 pixels. So if you don't have one that size, I'd suggest you go and make one. I don't have it in this size. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use Canva and I'm going to create a logo in that size. So bear with me 1 second. I'll just bring this over onto the screen and hopefully you can see my... You can see my Canva account. So I've got our logo for Journal. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on, so I've just opened the usual logo file that we would be using. I'm just going to resize it. So I'm going to go in and click on custom size and I'm going to choose a 500 by 200 pixel image. This just means I'm going to fit the space really nicely. The templates are designed so you've got this 500 by 200 logo in. So I'm going to open that up now. And I just want to use this space. I don't want to have lots of blank space around the edge. I'm going to drag this so that it fits the whole box. I might as well use the space that's available to me. Usually I wouldn't want my logo to show up with a coloured background, so I'm going to take that background off, but I might change the text. So we're using like a blue or something. I wish I had saved the colour. 1 second, bear with me. Okay, so we've got that logo in the purple now. So I'm just going to download that. So share, download. I want a transparent background on it. Although Journal will remove the background for you, so don't need to worry too much about that. But I've just downloaded that as a logo file. Great. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to upload it now. So So it's got my image. Now, if this wasn't fitting, maybe what I'll do is I'll just show you what that would have looked like if I'd used that square image. If I put the square one in, can you see, first of all, this is really small in the space. So if I put that logo onto my designs, it's going to create a very small logo with lots of white space around the edge, which is why we wanted to make sure that we resized it to 500 by 200. I think I'm having an internet go slow today. By the way, you have a 14-day free trial with Journal. So if you want to, you can give it a try for 14 days, no charge. There we go, it's uploaded it. So what should happen is when I'm looking at one of my slides, can you see at the top left here, I've got a very small logo. That is not what we want to happen. What we want to do is make sure we've really filled that space. So I'm going to just upload the correctly sized logo. And now you can see I've got a nice big word, Journal, top left. Now there are different, in your design set, so when you sign up and you're creating those professionally designed templates for your social media, this is the bit that's going to allow you to look consistent. You have a set of 5 different tiles that you can use. And can you see that the logo moves around across all of them? That means that depending on what type of post you're putting out, you can choose an appropriate cover. And I really love this about Journal. And we're going to change the design, and we're going to see what the other options are. But sometimes you might think, well, actually, I don't necessarily want to have a purple logo on that one. If I'm doing a quote post, what I might want to do on these is have like a black logo. So you can see that there are the 5 different types of posts down here. And for each of those, I'm able to define what I want to do with the logo. Do I want to keep it coloured, as in the one I uploaded, or do I want to change the color of it? So I can change it to black. If I change it to white, it's not going to show up because it's on a white background, but I have the option to change that. So that's a really helpful feature. So I've uploaded my logo file. What I can do now is I can go in and look at the fonts. So if I've got my own fonts, I can choose my own font from the Google fonts that are available, or I can use a font set that are already uploaded in here. So I'm going to choose something that looks appropriate for us. I'm just looking for something quite bold right now. I'm going to stick with this for now, that's fine. And then we get to go in and define the colors. So there are color sets already built into Journal. So if you haven't ever gone through this sort of design process, you don't have a toolkit, if you're new to marketing, you can choose something from here. Or if you know what you need these posts to be looking like, or you've got your own set of colors, you can use your own set of colors as well. I think that in the interests of time, I'm trying to keep this simple in the interest of time, I kind of need to have a nice blue on it. Okay, let's work with a turquoise. Okay, let's go with that for now. I just want to see what it looks a bit like a dentist brand though. That's what I'm worried about. Okay, that's what we've got at the moment. What I can do then, no, I can't. I said I'd do this in real time and I've got to make sure it's right. That is the problem with me. If it doesn't look right, I'm not happy. So I'm just going to go in and find the right colour in my Canva. Bear with. Right. That's a better turquoise for us. Great. And that's better. Right. I'm going to make this black. And then I'm going to make that lovely. That feels better. You can change your background color. So if you wanted to, you could have a different color. I mean, it's going to look terrible if I try and do that. But do you see I can just change the color of that if I wanted to do something like that? I'm going to keep it white. Okay, cool. So I've got some colors on there. Brilliant. And I can see what these different posts look like using those particular colors. Brilliant. That's good. Let's move on. So the next thing to do, and you might find that you want to go backwards and forwards, sort of fiddling around with this a little bit, which is absolutely okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into design sets. I think we've done business info. No, we need to put our website on. So on every single post, you can have your website pop up, which is really important because you need to tell people what to do next. When they've seen your content, what do they do next to work with you? In our case, they go to bookkeepersmarketing.com. That is what they want to do next. So I can make sure that that is appearing on every tab. And actually what I'm thinking then is I think that needs to be a similar color to the logo color potentially. So I'm going to just go into the colors again, and I'm going to go to my custom color set, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to change that so that the business website color is here. And now it's purple. Feel much happier with that. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into design sets. So this is where you've got professionally designed kits of templates. So those 5 templates for team, insight, miscellaneous, quote, etc. You have got different templates that are already designed for you. Now you can choose what you want this to look like. So you can see, you can, if you just want to look at what are the fun ones. So for example, for Hey Monica, which is our AI software tool with our little Monica mascot, we use one like this, but we use all of our Hey Monica purples. So you might want to just have a little look at what is the right slide for you to be using. When you're doing a personal post, like this is a sort of tip from me, when you're doing a personal post, you probably just want to put a photo of yourself out. These templates work really well for your business content though. So I see these as, the kind of messages that if you saw a large corporate or a large practice posting online, their team are probably putting out something using templates a little bit like this. So how do we make it look really professional? We make it look really professional by choosing a design set and using it over and over again. And if I was to use this curves style, for example, you'll see that that curve will carry across all of the different posts, which sort of brings them together. It looks consistent. So that's what we're trying to aim for. So you'll want to have a little look and take a bit of time working out what's going to be the right post for you. And this is the bit where I haven't really prepared, and that's not ideal, although that could work for me. That's maybe a little bit blocky. Give me a minute where I'll just show you what we can do. I think it's useful just to see what options are out there. Yeah, I think this could work for me. Oh, actually though, the colours don't work for me. The turquoise behind isn't right. So this is the thing. This is the bit where you're going to go backwards and forwards, deciding, have I got this quite right? Okay, I'm going to stick with this. So once I'm happy with the design, so I'm going to go through and check, am I happy with the design set? Am I happy with the business info? Am I happy with the colors? Am I happy with the fonts? I can change all of this stuff whenever I want to. I'm thinking what I'm going to do here actually is change this with the background color. I think that's going to change my text bubble. Yeah. It's not right. And I promised I'd do it in real time, and I get it right. So I'm going to just bear with me. I don't think anyone's even watching this anyway, so I'm forgiven, I'm sure. I had something that I was really happy with just now, and this is the thing. It's just working out like what's actually right for you. That's quite nice with this sort of curves in the J. Oh, I like that. That's good. I think if I upload a turquoisey logo and make the rest of it purple, that's going to look much better. So I'm just going to change that. That text needs to be white. That's better. And I might just make I might just go and download a version of the logo with the turquoise on. That feels good. Just going back into my logo page, I've just added a new 500 by 200 pixel logo in turquoise. Add that on there. There we go, that feels better. And I'm just going to have a quick look through these different posts. Yeah, that's good. Nice. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. So let's say I'm happy and I'm good to go. I'm going to save my changes. And the final bit of setup, and I think this has taken me about 22 minutes. So 22 minutes up till here. What I'm going to do now, the final setup thing, before we can just use this without ever having to change anything. If you go into your AI settings, you can then, this is the bit where we tell Journal how to write like us and who it's writing for. So I'm going to put the business name in there. The content language, so we're writing in British English. The company's called Journal. The industry is social media marketing for bookkeepers. And the job role, so this is the role of the AI. If you know, what is this AI doing for you? I mean, you could think of it as, you know, it says in here financial advisor. If you were using this as a financial advisor, you would want it to know you're a financial advisor. I want it to know in this instance that I'm a social media manager, but you might want it to know that you're a bookkeeper or an accountant. But you're going to be probably putting in your business name, your industry as bookkeeping, and your job role as a bookkeeper. Then your business location. Okay. Call to action. This will come up regularly in the text and the copy for any post that you're creating. If you're saying include a call to action, it's going to include this. So your call to action probably wants to be telling people to take a next step, like download the free resource on your website or book a call, the links in your bio, for example. So I'm going to write, because this is for Journal, get 14 days free. Or I might say create your first 14 days of content at bookkeepersmarketing.com for free. There we go. And then there's additional business information. So this is where you tell the AI what the business does so that it knows how to write like you. I'm just going to find my notes, because you, like me, probably have some sort of brand guidelines which say like some information about your business. Or if you don't and you've used ChatGPT in the past, you could ask it, please give me some information about your business. So I'm just going into my own ChatGPT and I'm saying, please tell me everything you know about my business. Because I'm not lazy, but I must have typed all this stuff into ChatGPT before. So I'll show you this actually, if it's helpful. I went into ChatGPT and I said, please give me some information about the business journal, everything I need to know if I'm new to it. And it's come back and said, here's everything you need to know about Journal, the AI-powered social media tool for bookkeepers, what it is, what the features are, what the benefits are, the pricing, who it's for, customization, bonus tools. Think of it as this call to action. Brilliant. So I'm just going to copy that bit of info and I'm hoping that there's enough space in this box. I'm going to paste it all in there. Brilliant. So now Journal knows all about what I'm selling. So if you're a bookkeeper, you will have hopefully used ChatGPT and it might know something about your offer, the kind of services that you provide, who you work with, what you're an expert at, what your background is, why you care about this. This is the kind of stuff you want to be putting in here. Why you're an expert, why you're credible, why people should work with you, testimonials, maybe that kind of thing. So I've put some information in there. So I'm going to save those changes. Now I'm going to go into Quick Create. Okay, let me tell you what this is. When you're creating posts from the queue, which I'll show you shortly, this is where you very quickly create social media content. You will have an option to just press a button. It will basically give you an idea for social media and then you press a button and it just writes it for you. It's so quick. But for it to be able to write it for you and know who it's writing as, like you've just told it about the business in the general details, but it needs to know what kind of post do you want? How long do you want it to be? Do you want to include a call to action or emojis, that kind of thing? So this is where we're going to tell it what to do if we're asking it to use Quick Create. So first thing is length. What length of post do we want? These all work well. I'm going to say as a default, let's go with like a medium length post, 80 to 100 words. Then I'm going to say what tone of voice to use. So what kind of voice do I want to use when I'm writing these posts? Do you want to be seen as professional, funny, empathetic? And you can choose more than one of these. I'm actually going to put, because I'm writing on behalf of Journal right now, I think I'm going to come across as casual and conversational and a bit empathetic. Like, I get it. You haven't got time in your life for social media. And you probably feel like that about bookkeeping when you're speaking to people as well. So when you're in Journal, these are your really quick settings so that you can make sure it speaks like you and quickly writes posts just like you. Okay, what do you want to include in this social media post? If you are using Quick Create for a very quick generic post, how do you want it to appear as default? I do want a call to action. I think a call to action is really important on every post. I like to have a hook to get people to want to read on. Do I want emojis? I'm going to put an emoji in. I think emojis are okay. The rest I'm kind of easy with. Let's sort of leave it. Exclude. Is there anything I want to exclude? I don't really like analogies, so I'm going to put analogies in. Are there anything else that I don't want to include? Oh, this is new. Line breaks. These are the kind of things where, you know, sometimes you get a post and you can just spot that it's AI. I don't like people to be able to spot that I've used AI. That's the real tool. You're using it as an assistant, not as like the doer. Like, it's not your team. It's just someone helping you to get the outcome. So I like to kind of avoid those kind of things. But I'm just going to say avoid analogies. I think that's okay for me. Formatting. If you are familiar with copywriting frameworks, sometimes a copywriter will use these kind of frameworks to help them to get various key points across. You can choose to include some of these when you're writing your generic, or the default's the word I'm looking for. I've found all of these to be useful in different opportunities. I'm going to say let's do features, advantages, benefits. I'm going to keep that in there for now. Then I'm going to save those changes. You can have more than one. Then tone of voice. This is great. So What tone of voice do you want to use? We've already said in Quick Create that we want to be casual, conversational, empathetic. But what if you could make the AI really sound like you? Now, you might have a written document that says this is how I write and these are words I include, etc. So you might be able to create your own tone of voice. And I'm going to show you another way to do that really quickly as well. You might not have that. So you might say, well, actually, just looking at these suggested tones of voice, I think I would like to be seen as lighthearted and humorous, or bold and opinionated. And you can choose one of these if you want to. I think I might stick with lighthearted and humorous. But there's this tool where I can create a tone of voice using my own website, which I love. So if I click on create there, I can either enter manually a tone of voice, or I can go on my own website and generate my tone of voice. So just to show you, bookkeepersmarketing.com. Here it is. This is our website. And what I could ask the AI to do is read the content from this website and decide what my tone of voice sounds like. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to generate the tone of voice from the website, put my URL in, click next, and it is going to read my website and it's going to decide what my tone of voice is for me. So professional and supportive, the brand's tone is professional and supportive, aiming to empower bookkeepers by providing efficient and user-friendly marketing solutions. It conveys a sense of reliability and expertise, focusing on simplifying the marketing process for users. I'm going to make that my default tone of voice, and I'm just going to say that this is the journal official voice. That's for my own reference. Official, can't spell. Great. Save, create. So I've now got this journal official voice, and I'm going to use that as my default tone of voice when it's writing as me. Now I get to say in my AI settings, remember this is a one-time setup of journal. Once you've set this up, you can use this to create content very, very quickly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell it who it's writing for. This is the persona of the ideal client. If you know me and Joe from the Six Figure Bookkeeper, if you've listened to the Bookkeepers podcast, you will know that we love for you to have an ideal client, whatever industry you're in. So if you're a bookkeeper, I would love you to know your ideal client, because there are so many reasons in terms of the way you build your service, the software that you use, the kind of packages you put together, the level of support you use, the workflows that are included and involved. But also from a marketing point of view, if you know who your ideal client is, it's really easy to speak to them because you can get in their head. You can understand what their problems are. You can talk to them using those problems as ways for you to frame a solution and then introduce yourself as the solution. You can use words that they resonate with. You can talk about their day-to-day challenges and how your service relates to that. You understand them really, really well. So what if you have an ideal client, even if you just have a vague idea of their demographics, the kind of business they run or whatever, you can include it here. And this is really helpful because the content that journal will create for you in your own tone of voice, because you've just told it how to do that, will also speak to the ideal client you want to attract. I love this. So we can do this in various ways. You can create a persona from a website. If you've already got one, you can type it in, or you can use the AI assistant. I'm actually going to manually enter my persona. I'm going to say an ambitious bookkeeper is probably my ideal client. I'm just going to go into my ChatGPT and say, can you just give me a customer, like an ideal client persona? Because you've probably spent a lot of time in the last year or so talking to ChatGPT. I'm just going to share this with me. Right, I have just gone into ChatGPT and I've said, please could you give me a persona of my ideal client? And it's told me that my ideal client, and obviously I can choose whether this is correct and I can tweak it, but I want to show you how quick this is to set up. My ideal client might be Rebecca. She's 38, based in the UK, solo bookkeeping practice, working with small business, 5 to 10 years in the industry, uses accounting software, finds marketing tools overwhelming. She wants to attract a steady stream of ideal clients, build a professional online presence, grow her reputation as a knowledgeable, trustworthy expert. But her challenges are she's struggling to post online, feels salesy, not sure what to write, waste time in Canva trying to figure out ChatGPT prompts. It's got client work piling up, marketing's pushed aside. She wants to grow her business but hates self-promotion. She wants some marketing. There we go. This is totally the ideal client here. So I'm just going to take the details here and I'm just going to come back into journal. I mean, you could also use your brain and write things, but when ChatGPT knows so much about us, why do we not just use ChatGPT to help us? So I'm going to give it a persona of Rebecca. I'm just spacing this out for me, really, so it looks nice to me, because the AI doesn't care. Why does she love journal? She can create a full month of posts in an hour. Yeah. Okay, great. This is my default ideal client persona. So I'm going to save the changes. And now I've got my persona. I can create other personas as well. So if I wanted to speak to a different type of client, I could have another persona as well. And you'll see when we're using Advanced Create that we can choose who the persona is that we're speaking to. But I'm going to stick with Rebecca. Okay, then I love this. The other setting we have, again, this is a one-time setup of journal. We're 36 minutes in. We've nearly set the whole thing up. This is a list of banned words. So, you know, there are certain words that just give away that you're using AI. We want to get rid of those words. So all of the like navigating and, you know, that kind of thing. I don't want those words in there. I'm just going to see if navigate is in here, actually. Navigate? Yeah, navigate. So there's loads of words in here that just scream AI to me. One of those is M-dash, which is this long like dash that ChatGPT and AI like to use. So I'm actually gonna paste that in here so that it is banned. It's on my banned list, and you should be able to see it down at the end. And then that isn't going to come up in my posts anymore, which for me is like a massive giveaway. But anything else, if there's something that comes up, and you might find as you're using journal that are certain words coming up and you're like, oh, I hate that word, you can just go and add it into your banned words and phrases so that, you know, like the unlock your potential, embark on a journey. Oh, we don't want those things to be showing up. Right, we have set it up. We've done everything. So we've got designs ready to go. We've got our logo in there. We've done our fonts, colors, business info. We've connected our platforms so we can now post straight through to our social media platforms. We have done our AI settings, so we know what we sell. If we're doing a quick create, how do we want that post to be written? What tone of voice do we want to use? Who's the persona? Who are we speaking to? What words should journal absolutely not use? Now what we need to do is decide what we want to post. So here's how we do this. You'll see on the left-hand side that there is a recurring schedule. Journal creates a queue of posts for you to create, and it is populated by the items or the ideas which are included in the recurring schedule. This is a 4-weekly pattern. So over a 4-week cycle, you'll have the same post coming up on Monday through to Sunday. So I could say on week 1 on Monday, I want to have a post about showing my expertise. And then that will repeat every 4 weeks. I might have it every Monday. It's up to me. So I can design that. And the way that I would do that is I would click add new. I would choose what account I want to post it to. So I guess I want to put it on my Instagram and my LinkedIn page, but I don't necessarily want to put it on my own page because I don't know, see this as a different post for some reason. Let's say I just want to put it on those places. And then I get to choose what kind of content am I including. So the content at the top here, my content, I'll show you later. This is where you set up templates for your team members. It's where you set up testimonials that you want to use over and over. Then you've got core content, which has been written by the Sosoma team who've built this software, where you've got lots and lots of different content ideas in here. There are like way more sort of categories underneath. And then down at the bottom here under journal, you've also got bookkeeping related content as well. So you've got a whole range of expert business posts plus bookkeeping specific posts as well. So let's say on a Monday, I want to put something in about being the expert, and under being the expert, maybe I want to put in something about, I don't know, focus on what matters, for example. Then I want that to happen every Monday in week number 1. I mean, usually but it's up to you. You build it however you want to do it. I might just do it every Monday, but let's say it's the first Monday of the month, of the 4-week cycle. Then I choose what time I want to post at. So I like my post to go out at 6:30 in the morning. And then I add my post, and then you'll see that that is appearing in my schedule, a post about focusing on what matters. And if I go to my queue, what's going to happen is every 4 weeks, this is going to pop up in my queue awaiting approval. So I need to go in and I need to create this post now, and I'll show you how to do that. But what we want to do is just get this schedule ready, because the schedule will just then repeat and repeat and repeat, and you see how that works. So I have the option to either add in my own preferences, or I can use a pre-designed schedule. There are already schedules built into Journal for you. You can just put them in, and it's like designed for you. So if I go into labs and I go into schedule lab, we've got lots of different schedules designed by the Sosoma team who built the software, also by us. We've tried to give you a sort of light, a regular, and a bold content schedule for each of your platforms. So maybe I want to post on Instagram twice a week. If that's the case, then maybe I choose this Instagram one. And it says, right, I'm going to put a tip out on the first Tuesday, a quote on a Saturday, a mistake to avoid on the second week. So I might say, right, yeah, that looks really good. I'm going to add that to my schedule, and I just click use schedule. And then I can merge it with the schedule I've already got, because I've already put that Monday post in. So I'm just going to merge those schedules. And I put that in. And if I now go back to my recurring schedule, you'll see that I've now got that Instagram schedule in there as well. And maybe what I want to do as well, because I've realized I haven't put any personal content on LinkedIn, is I might want to go back into my schedule, and I might want to add in maybe on Wednesdays. I'm like, I need to start posting on my LinkedIn personal account. I'm going to make sure I post every Wednesday. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, right, I'm going to post on my LinkedIn account. Do you know what? While I'm at it, I'm also going to put something on my LinkedIn page, and I'm going to post something about, I don't know, let's start a discussion. That would be good. Let's do something about, do you ever? I'm going to get that to go out on every Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. And if I'm happy, I click add post, and then you can see that that goes out every Wednesday. I might say, oh, actually, do you know what? On the second week, I'm going to do a different post and do something about mistakes to avoid. I don't want to just do the same thing all the time. Update that. Oh, it's changed the whole lot. It's changed the whole lot. Okay, that's fine. So that's really useful to know. So I can change that. I can do all sorts of things here, but I've put something about 2 mistakes to avoid, and then I'm going to just put in something about on the 3rd and 4th week. Let's do one about, what did I say? Start discussions. Do you ever? Let's go with that. Great. Okay, so we've got some content now. We've got a schedule. We've got a bit of a routine. Like I said, you're going to make this look how you want it to look over a 4-week period. I like to think that posting 3 times a week is good. If it's helpful, my own personal tips on LinkedIn are that content does the best on Mondays to Thursdays, doesn't do well later in the week. I think as well that posting at 6:30 in the morning works for me. I don't have any problem with posting the same thing on LinkedIn as on my Instagram account. I think that personal brand stuff is more like photos of myself. Business stuff is the kind of templates that we would be using from Journal. So when I put a post on LinkedIn, I might use a different image to the post that I'm using on my Instagram account. My personal account on LinkedIn will be different to my Instagram and my business LinkedIn page. So that's just something for you to test. I think it's always a test and an experiment. Okay, so we've set up a recurring schedule now in Journal. So we have done all of our settings. We've got a recurring schedule that's going to go out every single week. We are 44 minutes in, and Journal is now ready to use. And you'll never have to do that bit again. If you're happy, you don't have to change anything now. What will happen now is we've got this queue, and we've got all these different posts that we need to create. So I'm going to show you how to do it. And I showed you, do you remember we were setting up quick create? Super quick and easy to do. So I've got a post I need to put out tomorrow. Do you ever? It's going to start a discussion. Now, on the right-hand side, it gives me an idea for this post. Do you ever open your phone for one thing and end up doing 5 others first? Oh my gosh, I totally do that. So, what I can do is there are a few options here. I can change the idea if I'm like, oh, I don't know what to write about that. I'll change the idea. Remember, by the way, AI will have an idea of what to write for it. I can advance create, which means I can say, actually, this is the kind of answer I might like to give to that question, turn that into a social media post. Or I can use the default settings I set up for quick create and it can just write it. And then if I'm happy, I could just post it. I might want to tweak it first. So I'm going to click on quick create. Let's do this quick create and see how this has been set up. So it's now going to write me the caption for the social media post. Ever open your phone for one thing and end up lost in 5 others? It's a bit of a running joke. One client told me she wanted to check her emails but found herself scrolling through social media for an hour. It talks about some distractions. It talks about how we help bookkeepers. Nice. I could start a discussion about that. Are you just scrolling your phone? I might even end with like, yeah, what distracts you most when working online? I might make that like, what's your biggest distraction on your phone right now? It might be a game you're playing or something. I keep ended up playing this game with colourful buses. I don't know, it's a long story. Anyway, right, we've got the caption written. So now I can just add an image that goes alongside it. So I've got the post written. I now need to choose from this content type. Do you see it's ready to go? It's ready to publish on my LinkedIn account, my personal page and my journal page. It's got the caption. I can have a different caption for each page. It's actually generated a different version of it for the LinkedIn page, which is great because it means that I am writing something different. So LinkedIn is going to, I forgot that it did this, you know, you can just have the same caption, but if you're just writing something slightly different, you're getting more, I don't know, legs out of the same post. What we need to do now is give it an image. So what we can do is we can just upload our own photo. So I could go into media and I could upload a photo of myself. I don't know. Here's one I designed earlier where Joe and I are Barbies wearing Dext t-shirts. I could just upload my own photo and you can see a little preview of it on the right hand side. Great. But do you remember we spent ages designing those professional templates? I'd like to use one of those because I want to have our logo on it. So what I'm going to do instead of using our own image, sorry Barbies, I'm going to delete you, is I'm going to click on the content type and I'm going to choose one of those different templates, the insight, meet the team, quote, miscellaneous, testimonial. So let's say I want to use this miscellaneous post and then I can put an image in here and I can even change the text that appears on the slide here. So what I can do then is go into design. In the design, it's the place that I can change the text. So I could use it gives me a caption. I could rewrite it using AI. Are distractions from your phone getting in the way of your focus? Might be more like here's how to avoid your phone distracting you. Something like that. Let's rewrite it, see what happens. Okay. And then what I can do is go in and I can change the image. So under media, I could put my Barbie photo in. So I could add my own image by uploading, or, and by the way, now I've uploaded that photo will live forevermore in Journal, so I can use it again in the future. But I've also got access to 3 stock libraries. So there's these 3 here. I can just go in and I can choose an appropriate photo. So I haven't got my own image. I can choose one from here. So maybe I need like a photo of someone scrolling their phone. There we go. Maybe we want to use that one. And then that goes into the template. I love this. If I wanted to use a different style, I could go to Insight. I can make it look a little bit, I'd make the tile look a little bit different. There are other options as well. But let's say I'm happy with that. So I've done the caption. It was generated for me. I've got it to write a different caption for each platform. I've added my own photo under media. I've gone to design and I've just made sure I'm happy with what the text says on the image. Do you see that this is like, it's got my logo on, it's got my website on, it looks like a designer made it, it's consistent with the brand that I want to put out there. If I'm happy, I just click approve. And what will happen then is if I go up, it will take me back to the queue, and you can see that for this post tomorrow, it now says approved rather than awaiting approval. And all I have to do is go through this queue that is generated from the schedule one by one and quick create. I'm going to do it in real time. Quick create. It's going to give me a caption. Obviously, I'm going to read the caption and check that I'm happy with the caption. And then if I am, I'm going to add a post alongside it. I'm going to add an image. What's this even about? It's about building trust, engaging your audience. Mindset. Okay, so authentic content. I think this, again, it's a set sort of thing with somebody like on their mobile phone. And then if I'm happy with that post, I can approve it. And then I've got these ready to go. It took like 30 seconds. And all I would do is, and I would suggest going through once a week, go in, schedule a post for the week, you're done. That's literally all you have to do. There are advanced create options, or do you remember I said there was an option to change the prompt? So let's say I'm looking at the 29th of July. The mistakes to avoid. Have you ever skipped a step thinking it wouldn't matter and it definitely did? Let's say I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know what to write about that. I click on change post idea, and then it's going to give me lots of other ideas, so I can choose another one. I could choose any of these. Let's say, is there a common shortcut people take that usually ends up costing them more? If you're a bookkeeper, there's definitely a common shortcut that people use. And then I can go back to my quick create or advanced create. Let's go quick create again. Shortcuts can seem smart, often they're just wasting time. Okay, and if I'm happy with that, I go into caption and image. I either upload my own photo or I choose the template. By the way, the quote post doesn't always have to be just for a quote. You could use this. Let's say, I know that there's 3 mistakes here, right, that we're talking about. So maybe what I do in here is I go into the design and I change the design to say, are you making these 3 mistakes when it comes to marketing your bookkeeping practice? And then I can, where it says Pele, there's obviously no name in there, so I can leave that blank. Read the caption. I could put that in, or I could just leave that blank. But if I was happy with that, then I could click on approve, and it's done in the queue. I'll just show you advanced create as well. So this one is a quote for the 2nd of August. This is maybe a bit of a tricky one because it's a quote post. Let's go to this next one, because I want to be able to suggest. I don't know many quotes off the top of my head, so I don't think I can suggest one very easily. But let's say I want to do something about focusing on what matters, being the expert. What's something your clients are always surprised isn't worth the stress? Turns out to be no big deal. Let's do this one, advanced create. And what I can do then, what I do with advanced create is it gives me the question, and my job here is to answer the question, and then AI will rewrite it. So it's probably something about showing up online. Like, people get really stressed about this until they start doing it. No, something like visibility takes confidence, but once you're visible, you gain confidence, something like that. Nice. And then we give it a length. So because, you know, we set all this up in the AI settings already for the quick create, but this isn't quick create, this is advanced create. So this time we're going to say, here's what I want you to do. So we're going to say, right, I'm going to have a Medium post. I want you to use my official tone of voice. I want you to include the post idea. So this is the idea. So we're asking it to write about that idea. I want you to also include a call to action. I want you to exclude analogies. I want it to use a particular framework? I'm not particularly worried about that. I'm going to say that I'm writing it for my ambitious bookkeeper. And personalized, this is using the business information. So do you remember, I've already told it what the business is. You would have told it it's a bookkeeping practice. I've told it it's a social media tool for bookkeepers. And then I'm going to click on generate AI. And now it's going to use those my own words, and it's going to turn it into the social media post for me. So this can just feel like a little bit more authentic. If you're worried that AI just sounds a bit like blah, although it shouldn't, because you've trained it, this just gives you the opportunity to add your own take on the question, and it feels even more personal. People often stress about showing up online. They worry it'll be a big deal, but once they start, it's not scary. Visibility takes a bit of confidence. When you're visible, you gain confidence. It's a cycle. La la la. Use journal, give it a try. Brilliant. It's even got my call to action in. So if I'm happy with that, I can use the caption. And then again, I'm going to put a photo in. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to choose one of these designs. I'm going to find a picture. Go to media. Let's look for social media. I don't know, here we go, let's use something like this. Great. And then if I'm happy, I can click approve. And then it's in the queue. So I've really quickly made those posts. I need to go back and do that quote one. I better do it, because otherwise you'll think I'm like not able to do it or something. I'm just gonna quick create. I'm gonna change that. Here you go, there's some other quotes for me. The chief enemy of creativity is good sense. Let's use that one. This is the problem of being a bookkeeper and being like a really balanced, like rational thinker, likes numbers, likes the right answer. And then there's someone like me saying, but also, by the way, you have to go and be really creative online. You don't, you just need a tool that will do it for you. Okay, so here we go. It's given me a quote. If I'm happy, I click approve, and then I've got that post out as well. That's how you use Journal. You can get a 14-day trial for free at bookkeepersmarketing.com. You can use all the features. So when I say trial, you literally can use this. So put your next couple of weeks of content out. You'll have it done in an hour. We're 58 minutes in. I've set the whole thing up. I've just put content out for until the 4th of August. So there's a few posts going out a week in there. I'm going to stay on there and show you a couple of advanced features, which I think are really helpful. So we've also got an option to save posts about your team members, or posts about, like, with testimonials that you might want to use over and over again. Those are the kind of things that if someone leaves you a good testimonial, you want to use it frequently. You don't just want to use it once and forget about it. So if you go into labs, you've got something called your content lab. And if you go into my content, you have a team member post area and a client testimonials area. So let's say you've got a testimonial, you can click add now. We're going to create a testimonial post that we can use again and again. So the content type is a testimonial. It's automatically given me the testimonial design. I can choose where I want it to go, although I don't think I need to do that. I don't need to do that unless I'm posting it right now. If I want to post it right now as well, I need to choose where I want it to go. But let's say I'm just designing it to save up for the future. What I would do is go to the design tab first, and I would type in my testimonial. So something like, I had a brilliant one from Holly yesterday who said, I've just been able to make a shit load of content in a few minutes. I probably won't share this. She said something like that, to paraphrase Holly. So let's say that's her testimonial. And then I'm going to go and get a nice photo to put alongside it. Lovely, we'll use that. Great. So I don't know, let's say like we're happy with that. What we can do then is we can write a caption. Now, you need to write the caption, but you can use the advanced editor. So if you click on this AI button and click advanced, what I like to do is say to it, can you write me a caption to go alongside this post from Holly? Holly said, and then I'll put it in brackets. So and then I'm going to say the length, short, tone of voice, journal, include, call to action, include, catchy hook, include, emojis, exclude, analogies, formatting. I don't know. We kind of want to say like features, advantages, benefits would be good, wouldn't it? Persona, it's for the ambitious bookkeeper. We want to use all the business information we've included in the business prompt. Generate AI. It's going to write me a little caption. Holly just shared her experience with Journal. Journal helped me create a significant amount of content in a few minutes. Lovely, we'll use that. And then if I'm happy, so I could post it now, but I have to say which platforms to post it to, or I could schedule it to go out like on Friday, for example. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save it as a testimonial and close. So then it's put it here for me. So in the future, it will live on in there. If I go back to client testimonials, I can build up all of my testimonials. And then what I can do is in my schedule, I could say, well, maybe on week 2 on a Tuesday, I want to put in onto my journal accounts, I want to put in a client testimonial at 7 a.m. When I go into my queue now, hopefully it's created a testimonial post. So where is it? Client testimonials, 11th of August. So if I click here, it's pulled through Holly's testimonial. And if I had others, I could change the post. So if I've got other testimonials, I can choose a different one. But if I'm happy with Holly's, I can just click approve and it's literally ready. It's already written. So I use it over and over again, which is really good. The final thing, I am being yelled at by my children because it's the summer holidays. 1 second. Can you just give me 5 minutes, please? I'll be there in a second. Okay. What I'm going to do is my final advanced feature in Journal, which I think you'll love, is if I go back into the lab and I go into the content lab, I have got access to news stories and I can do something called news hacking. So sometimes, particularly in the bookkeeping space, there's a bit of news that comes up and you're like, oh my God, I need to write something about that, but I don't know what to write and haven't got time and I don't even know where to start. And then you get distracted and then the news has passed and it's another day and it feels too late to write about the budget that came out or something. What I like to do is if I hear a news story and I'm like, oh, I could write something about that, I can go into Journal and I can find the news story and I can hack it. I can use it to write my own post. So this is what we do. And this is a really good way to show like expertise, credibility, authority, etc. Sorry if I've missed the comment. Thanks for that, Sashil. I'm really happy to give you a walkthrough. Hope you're enjoying it. Right, let me show you what we need to do. So if I go into labs, content lab, and then go into my news. This is the news right now. It's a feed of lots of news that's coming through. It's the 22nd of July. So we've got lots of news here. I can look for either there's like latest news or there's general news or finance news or whatever, or I can search for a word. So a recent one we had in the bookkeeping space was there was this story about Marks and Spencer's had this strawberry sandwich and it's like, was it a cake? Was it a sandwich? What should we do about VAT? Really exciting stuff. But what we can do, what I might do is just search for word. What would I be looking for? So I'm obviously promoting a journal right now. It's about social media, something about I want to do something about like social media trends or something like that. See what comes up. Social media. Actually, do you know what? ChatGPT's just launched this agent thing, hasn't it? So maybe there's something about that. Yeah. Chat privacy. Lots of agent stuff. I think thinks I'm a spy. Oh, OpenAI. Well, there's something. I mean, entry-level jobs fall by nearly a third. That's interesting, like from a bookkeeping industry point of view. OpenAI. No articles. Marketing. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Brain rot, marketing, gamification, and crowdsourcing. 3 lessons. Okay, great. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. So what can we learn from these monster toys? I don't know. So it's going to tell me about this. I've got the article. I can read the whole article. And in an ideal world, if I had loads of time on my hand, I might go, oh my gosh, I've just read this news thing and I need to go and write my own view on it that makes me look like an expert. With the AI tool built into Journal, what I can do instead is I can create a post using it and I can decide, how do I feel about this? Do I feel like this is a positive story from my point of view? Is it negative, neutral? Am I just reporting it? I'm going to say I feel neutral about it. I get to choose my tone of voice. So how do I want to sound? I get to choose the length of my post. I get to choose whether it's just a caption or if I want to include a poll in it as well. And then I get to add my own thoughts. Buying frenzy. Okay, I wonder if it's something about, like, from my point of view, obviously I'm creating content for bookkeepers. So is it that I want to say, what can bookkeepers learn from this to market themselves? Like, how do we create like a fad? But I think that's good. Let's try that. Let's see what it does. I don't know. I haven't read the article well enough. So it's generating. Here we go. So now it said, ever thought about what makes something a must-have? A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Marketing isn't just about selling, it's about connecting. People can feel overwhelmed by choice. Okay. I don't think that's quite right, but if it was quite right, I could post it. And what I could also do is I could say in here, I read this article in The Guardian, for example, and this is what I read. Here's what I think. And I could use this to give me the sort of start of the social media post. Or you might be really happy. You know, when we did this before with the strawberry sandwich thing, we were really happy with the outcome that we got. I'm just going to go back, so I don't feel like I've given you a great example from a bookkeeping point of view. I'm just going to write about MTD. Making tax digital, no. Tax. Okay, here we go. 2/3 of Britain support offering rich investors tax incentive to stop them leaving the UK from City AM. Right, maybe as a bookkeeper, you see something like this and you're like, actually, lots of my clients are thinking about leaving the UK. This sounds like a good idea. I agree. You know, you might want to write something like this. I agree. We need to keep great entrepreneurs in the UK. I don't know, maybe you were writing something like that. And then it's going to generate it. Thanks for bearing with me for a whole over an hour, 2/3 of, and then it uses the story. It's written brilliant. It's written a post. This is how much it could boost the economy by. It's obviously bringing the positive messages, isn't it? It's bringing the positive messages. So now we've written a caption using that social media, using that article that we found. We can then add an image. It might be that you add an image of yourself. We can choose where we're going to schedule it. We can, maybe there's like a quote, and maybe you take a quote from the news story and then you cite the source of it. Maybe you say this is from The Guardian, and you, in the design section, you use something like, this could boost the economy by 30 billion over a decade. And then you put the source of the story. You know, this is how we can use this. This is the kind of stuff that we don't have time for when we're marketing because we're too busy doing the work. So I hope you'll find that really helpful. I've found it particularly helpful when there's a news story on the TV and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do something with that right now. I know what I can do. I can go into Journal and I can find something and I can create it. You can also create posts just if you have an idea. So this doesn't always have to be AI generated. This is also a scheduling tool. So if you were like, oh my gosh, I've just got an idea for something I want to post about on my Instagram and my LinkedIn, you can just use the create post, and you can either use the AI writer and give it an idea of what it's writing about, or you can create it from scratch and just write the whole thing from scratch. But if you're ever stuck, you always have the AI helper there, so you can just jump in and you can customize it. I hope I've given you a really good view of how this works. When you do sign up for Journal, remember you get 14 days for free and you can use all of the tools here. On your dashboard, you've got 5 steps. So the things that we've spoken about today are all here. It tells you where to start. It shows you how to connect your social media, how to add your logo, colors, fonts, and choose your design templates. Then it shows you how to make the AI sound like you and how to speak to your ideal client. And then it shows you how to create the schedule and use the queue to create your post. So there are just those really easy steps to get started. And then all you're doing is working from the queue over and over again, creating those posts so that it is on brand, looks like you, all of those things. Okay, thanks for tuning in. If you've got any questions, this is a 6-figure bookkeeper product. Drop me a message here on LinkedIn or comment under the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, really happy to help you and support you. We just want to help bookkeepers to market themselves, something we've been passionate about for a long time. We finally have the solution. We love Journal. We're getting great feedback. I'd love to see you using it. Okay, have a great day. Bye.